We have distress and stress. Stimulation is the word I like to use. With exercise, we want to stimulate our mind and our bodies to kick or whatever, to do different exercises, wake it up, feel healthier, stimulate our joints, mind, central nervous system, body. Now, if it's stressful, the mind becomes overwhelmed. Research says that too much stress is damaging for both the mind and the body. There's masses of it. There's abundant research on stress being the cause of disease, or one of the main factors for serious disease. So, in terms of exercise, we want eustress. We want a continual and gradual stress, not hard stress, hard training, like circuit training. At Choi-Bo, we do have circuit classes, but they're not so hard, and also we will have worked with you a little bit of time, so you have a level of fitness and strength in your mind and body to be able to handle that. So that's important to understand when understanding how to exercise for health and wellness. Again, sports competitions, many values. If someone wants to be a professional athlete, and I've trained some professional athletes over the years, I will support them, but they must be aware of the consequences. If they are very talented, then they can reward some early payoff. But usually athletes have a shorter life, so it's very stressful on the body. So this is my dad, not really. So you can see clearly the blue line is exercising for wellness. Very different. The red line is sports, competitions. There's very clearly a massive difference. And sports is fun too, but if you are a professional athlete and you're competing against some of the best people in the world, that's when it's at its can be at its unhealthiest. But some of the regular football players and tennis players, then that's for fun. That's very, very healthy. But it's still, remember, if you're exercising with compulsive movements quickly that are sudden, jerky, then it's obviously challenging your knee in not the best way for long-term health. That's why injuries are abundant or common in sport. So Choi-Bo, I'm really clear, it's about wellness, about long-term health. It's a system for intelligent people. One, it will work you physically, but it will transform you mentally. Everyone that's going through the system right now, I say, has a profound change psychologically. And I'll tell you a little bit about that why later on. But in terms of exercise, there's loads of people talking about psychology affects physiology. Mind affects your body. Then there are many placebo experiments done where people take a tablet or a pharmaceutical-based product that's not actually real, basically sugar on the tongue, and they get some benefits because psychologically they believe it's going to influence their health, and it does. So the mind definitely affects physiology, and there's so many books written about it. Anthony Robbins is a big advocate of how you have a strong mind, awaken the giant within, and you can achieve whatever you want in life. I would say that's true, but a little bit more difficult than how I'm going to say you can do it a better way, my belief. Physiology affects psychology. There is nothing on this earth you can do that will have such a profound impact on your life than exercising regularly in the right way. It will transform you mentally, completely. I know from my own experience, I wouldn't say I'm a particularly mentally strong person. Without exercise, with it, I'm as strong as any man on this earth, and stronger than almost all. But without exercise, I lose that strength. So I use the Choi-Bo system to give me tremendous strength, and if it works for me, it can work for anyone. So, and that's really truth in my heart as well. So, but when we think about illness and disease, then happiness is, we all know, makes you healthy. Excitement makes you healthy. Exercise affects your physiology because it actually stimulates you to wake up. When you do training in Choi-Bo in the mornings for half an hour, you're doing these exercises, it's fun, it wakes you up. It's instead of a coffee. Too many people are drinking far too much coffee as a means to wake up quickly. It's not the right way. You need to, if you drink a little coffee, maybe it's okay. Some science says it prevents Alzheimer's and also is healthy, but too much is definitely not good. Exercise is the right way. That's what you're designed to do as a human being. You wake up in the morning, the receive the sunlight coming in, goes through your photoreceptors, wakes up your central nervous system. Then you should start moving, exercising. I do that every single morning. I exercise. So they know that depression has a negative impact on health, but also the other end of the spectrum, happiness, excitement, has a positive effect on your health. Your human gene, the most powerful lower level stimulation, or lower kind of underneath, like deep effect on your human gene, they know is disgust, misery, shame, guilt, has a very powerful negative effect on your gene, on your human gene and cell. Happiness, excitement, beauty, love is the other end, is very powerful. So exercise makes you excited, gives you energy, so you have a good life. So I know there's a lot of books trying to sell you how to think positive, but I would say use the Choi-Bo system or another means of exercise if you feel that's better. That's not my personal experience. Use this system to transform your mind and you'll change your life. So moving on to, this is important to understand, the autonomic nervous system can be broken into two parts, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Exercise influences one or the other. Now the right way to exercise for long-term health, in my experience, 20 years of training, pretty professionally, and I'm training other people, is you must train first thing in the morning with aerobic exercise. The reason being is aerobic exercise stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is more arousal. The reason being is there's so much stress in life today, the workplace, but the body has to stay in homeostasis for health. That's the basis of health, is basically homeostasis. If you start feeling stressed, then usually your autonomic nervous system is out of balance, and that can be related to what you eat or your lifestyle, also how you're thinking. If you have negative thoughts, that causes a negative emotion, and then that still causes, can cause destructive damage on your body. But in terms of exercise, the reason why I exercise in the morning and stimulate my sympathetic nervous system with Choi-Bo patterns every single day is they wake up my central nervous system. I have to balance, kick and punch. I do it for around half an hour, sometimes a little longer. If I'm feeling I need a good workout, maybe an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours even. But very gentle, very slow speed. I work both the left and right side of my body evenly with these kicks and punches that use biomechanical principles. I'll tell you a little more shortly. Is this, when you've finished exercising to bring your body back to homeostasis, your parasympathetic nervous system jumps up. And for the rest of the day, it stays a little higher. When your parasympathetic nervous system is slightly elevated, stomach secretion increases. This is common science in almost all medical textbooks. It's been studied for years and years. Also, your immune system function increases because you're in a more relaxed state. There are lots of stress management courses available today. They should all be using exercise as a means for wellness for their employees, so they're less stressed out in work and more productive. So exercise is key for productivity, for staying sharp, alert, and being at your best. So that's why I recommend training in the morning first thing, not late at night. If you're going to stretch at night, then if you're going to exercise at night, I suggest you stretch, because stretching stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. It's more relaxing. So some exercise works you vigorously, wakes up your sympathetic. Some exercise like yoga is very calming. Because it activates a different part of the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic. So you must understand that when you're trying to get the best out of a system. And why I've structured Choi-Bo as I have. So one thing is important. One guy I used to train, a great guy, really marvelous man. He said to me, there's some research come out in the Times about warming up. It says you don't need to warm up. It doesn't decrease, it has no benefits, and it doesn't shorten the risk of injuries. That's craziness. Even though the guy was a professor. I'll tell you why you must warm up. All the heart attacks from exercise happen in the first 5 minutes of exercising. So they train too hard too quickly. The heart is not strong. They're usually unfit, the people that have heart attacks anyway.